I'm so happy you're here. Welcome to another video in our countdown to Thanksgiving. Today we're going to be making sweet and savory yams or sweet potatoes, depending on what you call them. Same thing. I call them sweet potatoes, but lately I've been calling them yams. I kind of like the sound. Yams. We're going to make some yams. I like that. Anyways, so I don't know if you've ever had this recipe. This is kind of a family thing that we've been making for years and years and years, and it may be familiar, it may not be, but what probably is familiar, especially if you grew up in the era that I did, is sweet potatoes in a casserole covered with little marshmallows and put in the oven to heat. When I was a kid, that's what we had every Thanksgiving. This is kind of an adult version. I mean, I guess I was adult back then. This is an elevated version. We're gonna start with sweet potatoes, which have already been cooked, and then we're gonna add butter and brown sugar and fry them up in a skillet. Extremely delicious. It's that sweet and savoriness that it cannot be matched by much anything else. So what I did is I cooked the sweet potatoes last night. I wrapped them in foil. Well, I pricked them first and wrapped them in foil and put them in a 350-degree oven for about an hour. And then once they cooled down, I put them in the refrigerator overnight. And so then I have peeled them. So you can see all that we have left is the sweet potato or yam without its skin. And we're going to slice these and then we're going to fry them. So I'm going to start by taking off some of the ends that are a little unsightly. So the goal here is to get some discs. They're going to be about 1/4 inch thick. So I'm just going to slice them. If you want these thicker, go ahead and do them thicker. They're just going to take a little bit longer to heat through. So because the sweet potatoes are already cooked, you're really not cooking them on the stove. You're heating them through and caramelizing that sugar on the outside and then adding the buttery flavor. Oh, I cannot wait to eat these. Just talking about it's making me super excited. Okay, so I'm going to take my slices and put them on a sheet pan so I can take it over to the skillet when I'm ready. Okay, we're going to cut that end off, cut that end off. And every sweet potato is a little different. Some are weirdly shaped, so you might have to do like 4 sweet potatoes to get the amount of discs from 2 sweet potatoes or 3 sweet potatoes because it's a weird shape. On this sweet potato, I lost that much because, I mean, I could make a little disc out of that, but that end's not really looking all that good. So choose your sweet potatoes or yams wisely. Okay, we have them all sliced, so now we're going to move over to the stove and cook them in some butter, because it's dairy-free, earth balance actually, some butter and brown sugar. I've put about 2 to 3 tablespoons of earth balance into the frying pan and about medium-high. If you're not dairy-free, you can certainly use butter. Unsalted butter here would work wonderfully. So I have a bowl of light brown sugar, and then I have my tub of earth balance because I'm going to keep adding as we cook these. So I'm taking some brown sugar and I'm sprinkling it into the pan. And then I'm going to take the circles or discs of sweet potato and distribute them around. You don't want to crowd the pan too much because we've got to flip these. So I think that's a good amount. And then I'm going to take more brown sugar and sprinkle over the top. Now you can choose as much or as little brown sugar as you want. But the goal here is to get a nice caramelization. So I'm up at about medium-high to high because we want these to cook pretty quickly. So the yams have been cooking for about 2 to 3 minutes. You can start to see the caramelization, the crystallization of the sugar, which is a beautiful thing. I'm just going to flip one of these, see what it looks like. Nope, not yet. We're going to let it cook a little bit longer. When we start to see some crispiness, some crunchiness at the bottom, then we're going to flip them over. Okay, so I've turned these up pretty high. They need a lot of heat to do what I want them to do, and we're real close to flipping them. So I'm going to flip this one guy over, and you can see the caramelization there. Oh, I'm so excited. So sometimes you can use a tong, and sometimes you need to use a spatula. It depends how delicate your sweet potatoes are. So I'm using that guy looks really good. Oh, now that is perfection right there. And the longer that you cook these, the more rounds of these that you have, the more crispy you're going to get. And be careful when you flip these. This is a delicate process here. Don't burn yourself like I just did. Okay, so now I'm starting to get the kind of cooking that I want from here. I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit because I finally got up to maximum char level. I'm going to let these cook a little bit longer, and then I'm going to pull them from the pan and put another batch in. Okay, I'm really liking the way these look. I'm pretty sure the bottoms, let's flip them over. Yep, they're good. So I am going to pull these, and then we're going to get another batch in. Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit more butter in because I want a good amount of butter.
Get some in the back there.
Okay, more butter. And because we already have brown sugar on the pan, I'm not going to put a layer down, but instead put my sweet potatoes in and then put the brown sugar on top of them. Because we have a very, very hot pan right now, these are not going to take as long as the first round did. Okay, we're flipping. Got some really good color on these. Okay, the second batch I'm going to pull out of the pan. And then I'm going to cook up the very last batch of these, and then we are going to taste. Oh my goodness, this smells good. I don't really like sweet potatoes, but I love them this way. This is the only way I'll eat them. And I've been trying for years to get Rich to like them, but he just can't. Even like this, he doesn't like them. And I don't know, that means more for me. Okay, I'm going in. Look at that caramelization. Oh my goodness, the sugar, the butter. Those are, those are so good. It reminds me, it really does remind me of the marshmallow sweet potatoes, which I didn't really like when I was a kid. I think I ate all the marshmallows with a little bit of sweet potato, but it's very similar, but a little bit more refined. Oh. And not only do you get that beautiful flavor, you get that great crunchy caramelization in your mouth, so you've got texture. Because for me, sweet potatoes is a little bit of a texture issue. It's a little too soft and squishy. But with that caramelized sugar, I've got some texture, so that makes me really, really happy. Next week, we're doing pumpkin pie from scratch, cranberry sauce from scratch, and a bonus cranberry liqueur from scratch. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be a pumpkin cranberry extravaganza. Thank you so much for watching. In the description below, you'll find a link for the full recipe, or go to gfexplorers.com where you'll find tons more recipes and videos. And also, please consider joining our Facebook group. The link will be below as well in the description and also on our website. And until next time, happy eating.